Hey, it's Kaylee, and for this P4A, I am once again talking about mental health.
Let's start at the beginning. What is mental health? The dictionary defines it as 1. The psychological well-being and satisfactory adjustment to society and to the ordinary demands of life, and 2. The field of medicine concerned with the maintenance or achievement of such well-being and adjustment.
You might know of some mental illnesses, also called mental disorders, such as depression, anxiety, OCD, PTSD, eating disorders, and schizophrenia. But there are more than just those. There are a lot more. Tourette's, mood disorders, Asperger's, autism, kleptomania, dyslexia, alcoholism and other drug abuse, phobias in general, dissociative identity disorder, aka multiple personality disorder, and ADHD, just to name a few. I'm sure if you search Google, you can find a long list as well as descriptions.
Mental illness is not as rare as people believe. Approximately 1 in 5 adults in America, that's 18.5% or 43.4 million people, experience mental illness, and 1 in 25 adults in America, 4% or 9.8 million people, experience a serious mental illness that interferes with or limits major life activities. In addition, approximately 1 in 5 children ages 13 to 18, or 21.4%, experience a severe mental disorder at some point in their life. And for children ages 8 to 15, the estimate is 13%. Half of all chronic mental illnesses begin by age 14, 3/4 by age 24. Only 41% of American adults with mental health conditions received help in the past year. And for those adults with severe mental illnesses, only 62.9% received help. Just over half, 50.6%, of children ages 8 to 15 received mental health treatment in the last year. An estimated 26% of homeless adults staying in shelters live with a serious mental illness, and an estimated 46% live with severe mental illnesses and or substance use disorders. Approximately 20% of state prisoners and 21% of local jail prisoners have had a recent history of a mental health condition. 70% of youth in juvenile justice systems have at least one mental health condition, and at least 20% live with a serious mental illness.
So why is mental health awareness important? It costs America $193.2 billion in lost earnings per year. Mood disorders are the third most common cause of hospitalization in the U.S. for both youth and adults ages 18 to 44. Individuals living with a serious mental illness face an increased risk of having chronic medical conditions and die on average 25 years earlier than others, largely due to treatable medical conditions. Over 1/3, or 37%, of students with a mental health condition ages 14 to 21 and older who are served by special education drop out. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. and third leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 24, and the second leading cause of death for people ages 15 to 24. More than 90% of children who die by suicide have a mental health condition. And each day, an estimated 18 to 22 veterans die by suicide. So, yeah, it's a big deal that we break the stigma. With all those distressing statistics, you might be feeling a bit discouraged, but there is hope. Just because somebody has a mental illness does not mean it's a life sentence to being miserable. Just like any other illness, whether it's a broken bone, cancer, or a cold, there are treatments. Typically medications and or therapies. Since everybody is different, what works for one person might not work for another, and that's okay. Also, there are so many organizations out there that are willing and wanting to help you. NAMI, the Trevor Project, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Active Minds, Project Semicolon, etc. These are just to name a few. I have links down below as well as all my sources. If you believe you or someone you know is suffering from a mental illness, please seek help. Confide in an adult you know and trust, whether that's a parent, a neighbor, a coach, a teacher, etc. And of course, you can talk to your doctor. There is hope and there is help. Remember, don't forget to be awesome, and don't forget you are awesome.